Everybody, good afternoon. Hi there. Greetings. Welcome, all that. My name's Alan Cox. Thanks for being here. Say hi to Bill Squire. He's here too.
Hey, great bud.
Mary Santora is in the palatial studios of iHeart New York.
What up?
I assume they're palatial,
I don't know what that word means.
like a palace.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been, but I have to imagine that they are appointed with every amenity. And, there's, what do you have? You got pop, you got snacks.
Well, you gotta buy it, but yes.
Was it a quarter? What did you say it was?
A quarter for pop. I don't think there's anything in that vending machine over $1.
Right. Meanwhile, here at iHeart Cleveland, it cost you $4 to get a Hawaiian Punch, a Monster, something like that. I bought a Mountain Dew out of the machine today. Pretty sure it was like 3 1/4, 4, something like that. I don't know.
For a pop?
Yeah. That's I'll tell you what, boy. And I'm merely speculating, but I bet having a vending machine company, because those are all independently contracted by a company. It's not like the building owns the vending machines. Company comes and refills them or whatever. I bet if you were a company running a parking lot or vending machines, right? Parking lots, you just create them and then it's just. You've seen that there's practically no money put into maintenance in parking garages unless they have to under penalty, I guess, but get those. We should look into buying the vending machine here at work, Bill. And then we can just start charging
our
people
little nest egg.
charging people $7 for a pop. Just see, we go, oh, well, what do you want from me? It's surge pricing. Anyway, if you would like to join us.
We should sell Surge and then do Surge pricing.
Yeah, bring back Surge. Mm-hmm. It's coming. It's back, right? Or it's coming back?
I think they did it like a few years ago. They brought it back for a little bit. I don't know if it's back.
I like Surge. What was the one that was like...
Shasta?
No, that was a cola. There was one that was more like Surge. What was that called? There was... I know they're bringing Slice back. Remember Slice?
Bro, Slice was good.
Everybody,
Slice?
I like the Mandarin Orange Slice, but they're bringing back the OG Slice. For whatever reason, I didn't realize that the competition was so bloodthirsty, if you'll pardon the pun, for the lemon lime pops. But they're bringing Slice back.
Because they keep doing things like Sierra Mist, and now they're doing Starry, and nobody wants Starry.
I've never had it.
Give me some Slice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same as Sierra Mist.
But I remember 20 years ago, Surge had the Surge Fest. They had a whole festival that was going around, and they would have that Surge sponsored, and they would have bands like, there was some old, there was some new, and it was Coke trying to compete with Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is a Pepsi product, and so Coke goes, we really need to get in with the kids. How are we going to appeal? How are we going to let these kids know that we are extreme? That we are more hardcore than Mountain Dew. They're always trying to get the kids and the hardcore. And it was around for a while, but it was, it's hard to outdo the Dew, as it were. But I think Surge is back. I think they're bringing Slice back. Anyway, I digress. If you'd like to join us today, please, 216-578-1007. One set of numbers, as always, I advise you to use them in that order. Lord knows what you get otherwise. Or 800-348-1007. We spent the better part of 90 minutes hunkered down in our basement last night.
Oh.
As those massive storms were blowing directly through our area. We were watching Jeopardy last night, which airs on Channel 19 locally. And so we were defaulted to 19's weather coverage, which is what I would normally watch anyway. Sam Roberts used to do our weather here.
Oh, she's a gem.
On the big program. She's great. And Jason Nicholas and Jeff Tanchek, all those guys, they used to be heard here in the afternoon on MMS. And so Jeopardy cuts out and they go right to Nicholas, who's in front of the radar screen. He's like, hey, and we had heard the weather reports here on the show yesterday afternoon that there were going to be some big storms coming through and, thunderstorms, blah, blah, blah. And so then they go, well, there's no visual confirmation on a tornado, but there's some people out there in Lorain County who say that they've seen tornadoes, and nevertheless, whatever's happening, there's very heavy winds and there's a lot of rain, and so that's at about 7:45, and so then we just had on from there. And as the minutes tick by, we start getting the alerts on our phones, and it goes, on your phone, and it says, hey, get somewhere safe right now. And so we're still in the TV room and we're watching, but and this is nothing that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, but I have an 8-year-old. And, it was just August where those 2 tornadoes went through our town, just tore through Bay Village and a lot of other areas as well. But we were on the air that afternoon when that happened. So my wife and my child are at home. And so my daughter was not just a little bit triggered last night. So as I'm keeping an eye on this, and they're kind of like, yeah, it's moving. I mean, watching the map, it was moving directly toward where we live, right? And so I'm standing kind of on my back patio, and I'm waiting for something to happen. And I'm looking out the window, and it's not even windy or raining yet. But those things obviously happen very, very quickly. And so it's a kind of an equal measure on my part of curiosity and preparedness. I want to see, how this is coming through, and I'm checking my phone or whatever. And it got to the point where my daughter she was upset. I said, tell you what, let's go in the basement. Because by this time on the television and on the app, they're like, hey, if you live in Westlake, North Ridgeville, Bay Village, get into the basement if you have one, that kind of thing. And so as I'm sitting there, so for the better part of an hour 20, we were in our basement last night. And it didn't get as hairy as it looked like it might have been. I think maybe at the last minute, it kind of veered north and over the lake. But I mean, Doogie lives one town over from me too. And so they were probably in the middle of this. And so normally, those are the kind of things that I think we see on another part of Northeast Ohio, but last night it was really, really hairy. You probably didn't get any of that in Lakewood, did you?
We got the alerts. I was doing my show at Brothers Lounge, and like halfway through my set, opening things up, everybody in the room got an alert. And last time the tornado came through, we had to cancel the show at Brothers Lounge because there was no power. A telephone pole fell down in their parking lot.
Yeah,
so
it had a much broader swath last time.
Deciding, are we just going to all die here together, having some fun, laughing at some jokes? And that's what we did.
Wouldn't it be wild if you died with a bunch of strangers in a tornado?
Hey.
That's not the way anybody wants to go, but it would be very strange.
I've died on stage before. I'll do it again.
There you go.
Hope it's how I actually die.
BillSquire.com for tickets.
Yeah. Wadsworth's all sold out. So
now
you got to come see me at the Funny Stop in October.
Mary, you should do the Funny Stop.
I am the week after Bill.
What?
The week after Bill. Wouldn't you know?
2 weeks in a row.
Wouldn't you know?
Of Alan Cox Show comedy talent. Amazing. So yeah, last night was wild. Because again, I'm a guy watching television and I'm like, okay, looks wild, but until I hear, something that sounds like a train coming down the street. But my daughter was pretty freaked out. So I'm like, all right, we'll go and I get it. I mean, last time it was really, really bad. So, and frankly, I got to straighten up the basement a little bit. I'm not one to just kind of sit there, much to the annoyance of my family. I want to, there's areas I need to tidy up down there. And albeit forced, it was an opportunity to do that. So, but again, I'm thinking of a lot of our bureau chiefs down there in Florida because that hurricane, it was a tropical storm, and they were like, it might be okay. They're like, nope, it's like powered up into some hurricane that they say is going to be the biggest one of the year, and blah, blah. So we have a lot of people who listen to this show in Florida on the Gulf side, and that's going to be blowing through like tomorrow night. And I think by the time all of that weather gets up here, it veers west. I don't know that any of that will come here, but I've got to take a break. If you want to send me a text for anything, 35192. If you